Hello everybody, this is Carol from Friendly Quail. I'm here today to show you a couple of my steps on my book, Journeys Through Bookland, and I'm getting ready to put the signatures in, so I'm going to talk about that, and I'm also putting a little book plate on the front, so I'm going to show you how I do that. So I'm going to take the signatures out of here. I did put a little lace underneath on both ends so that it sticks up a little bit or out a little bit like this. I actually used two different laces and lapped them. Okay, and this one is my test book, and I have this on already, so you can put a thing in here. This is some fabric I had stamped on, and I put it on a piece of card. So I'm going to show you how to do this and getting ready to put signatures in. This one I got glued in now, and it's the second time. I think I did much better this time than the last time. I had a nice tutored conversation with Catherine Brown Clark from Sunnyside Studios. She actually was generous and kind enough to talk me through it, what I was doing, so that was very helpful. So now the next step in this one is I'm putting this on. Now this is metal. I just use my Fabri-Tac, and I put a little glue on it to kind of hold it in place. But I'm going to be putting these little brads in. So I want to poke some holes. I have it over a phone book. Hardly get those anymore. And I'm going to go straight down in the middle of the circle and poke a hole. See if that's going to fit through there. I might have to make it a little bigger. In that case, I'm going to do it this way and just go a little deeper because it gets bigger that way. And that will work perfectly. Okay, I'm going to do the middle of this one. Now the reason I glued it on first was because I wanted to, sorry if my head's getting in there, I wanted to make sure that I got it centered on this beautiful little front cover thing with the title in it, but I thought I'll cover it up with that. You've got it on the side. Okay, now I'm going to pull this up and go from the side and make it bigger. And I don't want that to be rough there. Whoops, sorry about that. Kind of sanding off some of the extra stuff because it pokes through. And I don't want that. Get rid of that. Now, if I put a little bit of glue around in this hole, by this hole, this is not a very big brad. I could probably have used a bigger one. I don't have any, and this one is working. It will work out. So I'm going to stick that in, and so there is some glue in there. It is still bigger than, the top is bigger than the hole, so it works. But it's not very big on the back, and actually maybe that's not a bad thing. So I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to open the brad and make sure I get it really tight. It's not going to move around. And I have to do this one. And then this will be covered up by the end papers. So that works out pretty well. Okay. Now besides just opening that up, I'm going to put a little bit of glue. This is just Fabri-Tac. But the paper will also glue over it. But this kind of puts a little bit of glue on the metal to hold it in place. And now I'm going to let that dry. And so those are in there now. And they will not come out. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. I wasn't sure if I'd be sewing in signatures on camera this time, so I got this ready ahead of time because this has to dry. I do have a little bit of a gap in here, it looks like. So what I did is I took a piece of file folder. I got these white ones at my thrift store. Make sure that that is down all the way. And you mark the top. Now this is the part that'll be inside the spine. My mistake with my first one was I had this too big. I made it the size of the cardboard that I put in here originally, but that was too big and I ended up not being able to seat it properly. And it ended up, I had to rip it out and I had to give up my end papers because I was too fast and had glued them in. And so now I have to get different. I found something similar to what I had that'll work. But what I did is I used my Tim Holtz that has the 0 in the middle. And I lined it up so that there was just the same on the edge. And I figured out where the middle of it was. And I made a mark. And then I went down here and did the same thing. And then I drew a line. So I had my middle line. Then I went over... Actually, this isn't centimeters, but it's 1/8 inches. So I went over, actually... 1/8 1/2, so what would that be? 2/8. No, 16ths. It becomes 16ths, 3/16. So I kind of went over 3/16. It's about 5 millimeters. If you have centimeters, it works to do that with a ruler. Too. You can do that, but it's a little bit, it's more like 4, I guess, that they're apart, 4 centimeters. So you could do that, but you're going to mark, I have a total of 7 signatures, so I have to have 7 lines. And this one is in the middle, and this could have been in a little bit more, but this is working just fine. It's my other one. So I made my little marks. And then I went down, whoops, and made them down here. And then I very carefully lined them up with a pencil. And you have to remember you have the width of your pencil, your lead. And I drew my lines on with a pencil. So this is all with pencil. Wrote top on the top so that I always keep that up. Then I went to the middle this way. I actually did it with the Tim Holtz and found my middle, and I went up. I think this is actually 7/8 inch. You can do whatever you want. And then I just found one in the middle. And I think if I did that, these two came out to be the same, both 1.5 inches. And so, and then used Fabri-Tac again and glued the paper onto the backing. It's about a 1/2 inch bigger on the top and the bottom. I'll be cutting this at a slight angle when I put it in the book, and you'll see that. But for now, just get yours ready and let it dry. So the next time I come back, I'm going to be showing you, I'm doing a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I have 7 signatures. I'll show you a couple of them, and then I will do the rest off camera, and then I'll show you how to glue it into the book. I'm going to be brave, and hopefully I get it right this time. So I'll be doing a little more with this. I mean, and I'll be doing more ephemera and things once I get this in. But I will show you that next time. So this is a quick one. I'll show you how to sew in signatures in the next video. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate you, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad for my subscribers, and if you're not a subscriber yet, I hope you will join. So thank you, and this is it for today. Friendly Quail signing off, saying bye.